This is our Veterans Wall of Honor. This was put together as a fundraising project.
At Sheridan American Legion Post 89, the community bought bricks as a fundraiser to honor military veterans.
This is Leo Powers. He's our Congressional Medal of Honor recipient from World War II.
Patrick McGee was in an aircraft that crashed in Vietnam.
He was lost in Vietnam, so he's our MIA, and his remains were never recovered.
One of Post 89's most expansive projects honored veterans that nobody alive would remember.
H.H. Kidder, he was in Company M of the 2nd California Cavalry, Civil War. I talked to him quite a bit. It's a veteran kinship.
Bob Reimard is an Air Force veteran who began his 24-year military career before the Vietnam War. He spearheaded the plan to identify and, when possible, preserve the graves of Civil War and Spanish-American War veterans.
They deserve it, and we're here to do it.
All costs were borne by Post 89. Bob and Post 89 Commander Cliff Morgan take us to the Virginia City Cemetery, where 18 Civil War and Spanish-American War veterans lie. Before Legion volunteers began their work, these veterans' headstones were in terrible condition.
Sunk into the ground, deteriorating.
Some of these you could walk right over them. You wouldn't even notice that it was, you know, a headstone.
As a youngster, Bob lived near Gettysburg, the site of the Civil War battlefield where the graves were so well taken care of. He thought these headstones should merit as much respect.
Be it 160 years ago, be it 5 years ago, they are veterans.
When the call went out, people answered. People that said, okay, I will.
Many of the names were so weathered you couldn't read them anymore.
So we had to go to outside resources to find out exactly who these people were.
Bob and his wife researched county and library records to find out who was buried where. Once they knew the names, volunteers reset the original stones in cement and placed new laser-etched plaques next to them.
Another 20 years or something, that one might have been gone.
Instead, Lockwood Todd's grave is now stable and his name easy to read. Before, you could read C.W. Vet Edwin on this stone.
And then a last name that is basically unreadable.
But now we know Edwin's last name was Fletcher.
Somebody's relative may come along trying to do a genealogy search or something, and they'll say, hey, it's here.
Here's James B. Howe's grave before. This is the veteran's grave after. Here's John Carruthers' gravestone before. This is his grave today.
And as far as the rank or the affiliation, be it GAR or Confederate, it didn't matter.
North or south, blue or gray, they all found their way to Virginia City.
It was brother against brother, but after the Civil War, they're out here. They were looking for a new life, and obviously the challenges of Montana brought them out here.
From a war that divided a nation to a mining camp where you could shed the past.
This was a chance to start over. Everybody was going to get rich.
Some did, many didn't. Post 89 fixed Civil War graves in Luray and Nevada City.
This is Hans Knudsen.
26 Civil War veterans are buried at the Sheridan Cemetery. 14 have headstones or markers, 12 don't.
We came across this plaque that indicates the names of 12 Civil War vets who are buried in unmarked graves here in the Sheridan Cemetery.
But the plaque has deteriorated so much you can no longer read those names.
We know who they are, we don't know where they are.
That's why Post 89 built this monument. It includes the names of Civil War vets in marked graves as well as those in unmarked graves.
They have a home, along with their friends.
Had it not been for the work of American Legion Post 89, these Civil War and Spanish-American War veterans would likely have been forgotten. Now they won't be, at least for a while.
Kind of moved the line a little bit, you know. We've done our part to save these names for the next generation. Somebody else will have to move it forward from that.
Remembering will always be a work in progress. Kevin Mackey, NBC, Montana.